Are you tired of feeling used and unappreciated right after you sleep with a man? Does it feel like the moment you finally give yourself to him, the dynamic switches instantly? But did you realize you can actually gain that control back? Today's your lucky day because on today's show, we're going to discuss how to get your power back from a man after you've made mistakes in the relationship. That way, you never, ever have to chase a man down again. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating in the stream. Welcome everyone to the show. Welcome on this beautiful Monday. I'm so glad to see all you beautiful people here with me today. How are you doing? We got SH over holding down the TikTok chat here. I see we got Sharice. I saw Sharice. Yeah. We got Stargirl. We got Missy America, of course, holding down the YouTube chat as our one and only moderator in the YouTube chat. We got Sweet Enlightened as an OG. We got Ivy, one of our OG members as well. We got Melina, who's been here. We got lots and lots others. I see you guys are ready for today's topic, excited for today's topic. That's why I wanted to make sure to warn you all about today's topic coming up. If you're not in the Discord, you didn't get the warning, but I warned everyone that was in the Discord that this was coming because I know this is one that you guys all wanted to talk about and discuss. Okay, so let's hop right into it. We'll discuss as time goes on. So first things first, you need to withdraw. Now, I actually really need you to pay attention to everything we're going to discuss here because I'm basically going to go through step by step what you need to be doing. Okay, so these are going to be in order of what needs to happen in order for you to do this successfully. But very important, not just to be listening to the points. I also want you to be very in tune with what not to do because there's going to be a lot of common mistakes in all of these different areas. And if you're following one point but not doing the other things, you're going to fall victim to any number of these mistakes that you could easily make. That's going to undo all of the work that you're working so hard towards. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention throughout the entire show. So first is withdrawing. Now, you need to be withdrawing the right way. So when I say withdrawing, you need to understand, if you are going to be the prize, I believe you can be the prize, okay? I'm not going to refute that. You can be the prize. I would love that for you to be the prize, okay? You are the prize. However, if you're going to actually be the prize, you need to treat yourself like a prize. Meaning, if you're the prize, that inherently means you're a reward for good work, hard work, consistency, whatever, okay? And if you are the prize, that also means people do not get you if they are not doing the right things, if they are reacting or responding negatively, or if they're just not putting themselves in the right position because they're being inconsistent, they're not giving the right energy, they don't have the right approach, right? All of the things you don't want, you don't get, or you that aren't good, you don't get if you're trying to work for a prize. And only when you're doing the right things is when you earn that prize. So what I mean by that is, if you're in a situation where you're wanting your power back because this guy is not acting according to what you want, because this guy is not approaching you how you expect to be approached, this guy is not appreciating you, he's ignoring you, he's being inconsistent, he's not asking you out on dates, he's using you, he's taking advantage of you, he's only seeing you late nights, he's not trying to build a relationship, whatever it may be for you specifically, you need to understand that there needs to be a consequence if you are going to be the prize. Because if you are the prize, then you can't reward him with you when he's not doing the right thing. So vice versa, if he's not doing the right thing, you need to be taking yourself away from him the same way you would take away a prize or a reward from someone who is not doing the right thing. So in this case, because you are the prize, access to you also becomes the prize inherently. And if access to you is the prize, then you need to remove access to you if you are attempting to take your power back, which is where the withdrawal comes in. Now, so you're specifically withdrawing your energy, okay? See, here's the thing that I want you all to understand. Your superpower as a woman I'm just a boy. But your superpower as a woman is the ability to get men specifically to move and shake things for you without you actually having to lift a finger. It's a superpower, truthfully. And so you need to utilize that and utilize the fact that the men who are interested in you and want access to you are the ones pursuing you. So you get to sit back and determine what the standards and expectations are of anyone who's going to have access to you. And so the reason I say that is because when we're talking about withdrawing your energy, you need to utilize that and understand how to utilize that as a tool to get the guys that you want in your life to act right. Not yelling and screaming and sending him a whole long text message and, telling him what he should and shouldn't do. We'll talk about that in a second and all of the things you should not be doing, right? And not doing all this extra stuff, okay? All you simply need to do, and this is how you want to be training your guys that you're in a relationship with. I know training sounds like you're training a dog. That's because you are, okay? You want to be training your guys that when you're upset, you don't yell or scream, punch wall. You're probably not gonna punch walls, but you're not calling him names. You're not doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. You're just withdrawing your energy and withdrawing yourself and allowing him to come to his own realizations, reach out to you, ask for forgiveness, and figure out how he's gonna make things right. Okay, that's where you want to be. That's the foundation you want to be setting. So when you're withdrawing your energy, that means you're not texting. That means you're not calling. That means you're not texting back. That means you're not calling back. Right? You're not Snapchatting. You're not responding to any of his Instagram reels that he's sending you. You're not responding to any of the TikTok videos that he sent. Nothing. Look into my eyes. You're not responding to anything. Okay? The reason I have to be so specific is because I know some of you go, well, he just sent me a reel and I just wanted to double tap the reel just to, because I thought the reel. No. You don't respond to nothing. I don't care how much he reaches out. I don't care what he says. The only thing you are going to ever respond to, and we'll get to that later, but the only thing that you're really ever going to respond to is an acknowledgement of what he did and him asking for forgiveness, as well as telling you what action he will take to try to make this work or try to make this, try to resolve this issue. Okay? Because like I said, every step is going to be important, and I want to present to you all the different possibilities that will occur in the process of you withdrawing. Because withdrawing sounds simple in itself. What the mistakes come in when you try to withdraw without understanding everything else that's going to happen as soon as you attempt to withdraw and gain your power back, and you don't understand what to do about those things. Okay? Because withdrawing is not just enough. You have to understand, when you're withdrawing from a guy and you're trying to get your power back in a relationship, especially if you've already slept with him, if you've already kind of made those mistakes and set yourself up in a place where he thinks that he can just take advantage of you and do whatever he wants with you without having to actually do anything for you. When you've already set the stage like that and you're trying to reverse that, you have to understand he's going to be actively and subconsciously fighting against that. He's not going to want to go back to the dynamic in which he has to be the one chasing after you or pursuing you or seeking your approval. Because at that point, when he's already slept with you, he feels like his job is done and his job is over and he can sit back and relax now. And you're the one that's going to be trying to hoard him and keep him and stay with him because you've already given yourself to him. So I say that to say, when you're trying to withdraw your energy, and even in this entire process, you're going to have the guys push back against that because they don't want to return to the dynamic in which you're in power, even though he's already slept with you. He wants to keep the dynamic in his favor and keep the power in his favor, where you are the one basically essentially chasing after him. Because the more he does, the more he looks over here or looks at this girl or is not paying attention to you or is inconsistent with you, the more you chase after him and say, but I can't lose you. We've already slept together. But I can't lose you. It'll be a waste of a body. But I can't lose you. I already gave my mind, body, soul, and spirit to you. What am I going to do now? Right? And guys enjoy having that type of power and that type of dynamic. And so they don't want to return to a place where they're the ones not in control anymore. So I just want you to be aware of that so you can be aware of how important the next couple of steps are going to be. So let me also discuss with you things you should not be doing. Listen very close. Everybody in the live stream, listen very closely to me, look in my eyes, okay? You need to be very clear on the things you should not be doing, okay? I do not want you acknowledging anything he says to you that is not him coming on his own, realizing what he did wrong and admitting to that wrongdoing. I'm going to tell you in a little bit about the things specifically you should be anticipating and what exactly they will be, but I want us to all be clear. The only thing you are seeking once you withdraw and do all these other steps, you are seeking him to come to his own realization of how he has mistreated you or disrespected you. Come to his own realization of the fact that he actually does want you. He actually does want to continue having access to you. And he actually does enjoy spending time with you and being around you. Come to his own realization that because he did wrong and because he wronged you and because he wants your forgiveness so that you guys can resolve the situation and return back to a state in which he has access to you on an ongoing basis, like he's accustomed to, like he wants to. That is why he will come to you with open arms, asking for your forgiveness and asking you what you need in order to feel resolved, that he can do for you to have the situation feel better for you and to be good for you. Okay? You want that man to come to his own realization, then come to you and ask you what you need in order for him to continue having access to you so that you're not withdrawn from him. Okay? I want you to understand what you're trying to get here and what you're trying to accomplish, because then when he comes back with that mindset, you will easily be able to tell him, this is what I was upset about, and this is how you resolve it. You can choose to resolve it or you cannot. The choice is yours, but you won't have access to me if you don't resolve it. It's a very simple concept. And because he comes to you with that mindset, he will immediately say, I am already prepared to do whatever it takes to get access to you again. So whatever your needs are, done. It's done. Done deal. Okay? Essentially, what I want you to imagine in your mind, the only time you need to be acknowledging his text or acknowledging his presence is when he is outside of your window with a boombox, throwing rocks at your window, playing a love song on his boombox, if you're thinking about your favorite love story or your favorite teen drama. Okay, so that's the only moment in which I want you to be messaging him back or even acknowledging his existence. Okay, let's get on the same page here. So we understand withdraw, why we're withdrawing, and what you're trying to accomplish by withdrawing. Okay, so number 2, this might be a little bit, some of you that are on the older side, nothing wrong with being older, might not be so familiar with all the different social media tools. However, social media plays a large role in everything we're doing. So I want you to understand, all of you to understand this concept as well. Number 2, I want you to mute him. Okay? Now, for those of you who are on the older side, what I mean by mute him is you need to go on his profile, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is you use. Actually, I want you to do it on all the social media apps. And I want you to go on each of his social media apps, and I want you to hit this mute button, which essentially what it's going to do is it's going to stop you from seeing any of his stories or his posts on your timeline. The reason I want you to do that is because in this process of withdrawing from him, what's going to happen is a couple things. This is why I said it's so important to pay attention for this whole show. What's going to happen is a couple things. When you withdraw, you're also going to be in pain. Okay? You're going to be in pain because you're going to want to reach out to him or talk to him, especially if during this time he's texting you or reaching out to you. Okay? You're going to be in pain that you're not hanging out with him. You're going to be in pain that you're not spending time with him. You're going to be in pain that you might be bored or your life might be uninteresting or stale without him in it or having his company. You might be lonely. That's going to bring you a lot of pain. So you're going to naturally be urged and motivated to just be like, you know what? I'll just send him this message. You know what? I'll just tell him what's on my mind. You know what? I'll just reach out and say, no, do not be doing that. because you're not going to see the result that you want to see, especially when it comes to getting your power back. You can't get your power back if you're the one pushing on someone else. This is my problem. I want you to fix this problem because I said so and it upsets me and this and that. No. Because all that's going to happen is he's going to argue with you, or he's going to tell you that your problem's not really a problem, or something along the lines of that. You want him to come to you with open arms, like I said before, with an understanding of what he did, why it was wrong, and asking for your forgiveness and how he can fix it. You don't want to be telling people what's on your mind, what your problem is, and why they should fix it. You want them to want to fix it. Then you can let them know what the issue is, okay? So the reason I say you need to mute him is because I don't want you to be tempted to send him a message or to put yourself in any more pain by seeing what he's doing or who he's doing it with or where he's doing it, right? All of those things can easily trigger you and send you down a spiral, just trying to figure out, stop yourself from messaging him. And it will become increasingly painful every time you see his story, especially if he knows you're a serial story watcher or a serial post watcher where you like to watch his story as soon as he posts it. You damn near have his notifications on. You have more of his notifications on than you have of my notifications. And I'm trying to help you. Okay. And you be having his notification just every time he posts, you there in the first 30 seconds, you're the first one to see it. And so some guys are going to know that you are like that. And what they're going to do is, instead of reaching out to you, instead of apologizing for what they did, they're going to actively try to put you in more pain to see if they can call your bluff. Okay. See, this is why I say the men aren't going to let go of the power easy. You have to understand, everyone's fighting for power, even in a relationship. And when the men get that power, they're not going to let go of that easy by just saying, oh, I'm going to reach out to her and beg for her forgiveness because I like her. No, what he's going to say is, before I do that, I'm going to put her in pain, make her feel uncomfortable by having her see my stories, having her see me go out with so-and-so, having her see me go out with my boys and this and that and having fun, make it look like I forgot about her, that she'll then reach out to me. And then what will happen? I'll be back in control. Because even if she reaches out to me and she tells me why she's upset, I can deny her being upset, or I can tell her she's wrong for being upset. Either way, I don't have to acknowledge that I want her so badly that I want to be forgiven for what I did to her. Okay? You do not want to allow guys to escape, right? Escape without acknowledging that they wronged you and asking and begging even for your forgiveness. Anything you do for them or any step forward you take to make it easier for them will hurt you in the long run, because you're only stopping him from having to acknowledge, I did wrong. I want to be forgiven for my wrongdoing. I made a mistake and I want to correct that mistake. You want to basically give him no other options in terms of accessing you other than to do it that way. Does that make sense to you guys so far? I know we're going a little bit quick here, but I want to make sure we hit all the points. Okay. Zeal says, why do they want us to feel pain? In this particular scenario, the guy wants you to feel pain because he understands. Now, obviously, they're not writing this down in their notebook, but subconsciously, they understand that if they can make you feel pain and you really like that guy, that will initiate you to reach out to him instead of you giving him the silent treatment or you withdrawing your energy. And you'll be the one to say, hey, why are you going out with so-and-so? Hey, why are you at the club? Or why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Right? And the moment you acknowledge that, you show him that you're paying attention to him. You show him that you still care about him. You show him that you're still invested in him. See, the thing about withdrawing and what you're really trying to accomplish is you're trying to present the feeling to him that because of what he did to you, because of how he treated you, because of how he mistreated you in this scenario, you have become disinterested in him. Okay? And your disinterest in him has led you to move on from him, where you're not watching his stories, you're not texting him, you're not calling him, you're not trying to do anything with him because you don't care. Do you understand? And that also in itself for the guys becomes very painful, because when after they sleep with a girl, they're used to the girls caring so much more now that they've slept with that girl. And so immediately when you take a step back and you withdraw and you seem to become disinterested, that becomes painful for him, where he says, wait, why are you not interested in me anymore? Wait, why are you not messaging me anymore? Wait, why do you not care anymore? Did I do something wrong? Is my pee-pee small? Did my pee-pee not hit your right spots? Am I useless? Am I boring? Do I not have enough money? And see, you're triggering his insecurity now, and you're hurting his ego, right? Remember, I just told you, you're stimulating his ego and helping his ego when you're the one that reaches out to him because you show him that you care. When you show him that you're disinterested, that hurts his ego. Now you're putting yourself in a position of power and you're putting him in a place of insecurity. I know this sounds like crazy manipulation, and I know that it doesn't sound as magical and fantastical like a love story as you wanted it to be, but I'm going to tell you the cold hard truth. If you want to get your power back, it's a little bit dirty. You're going to have to get your hands dirty, okay? Your Squirtle already got a little bit dirty. This time it's time to get your hands dirty. If you really want to get your power back. And you're going to have to understand it's going to take some strategy, and yes, it's going to take some manipulation. If you're not ready for manipulation, perfectly fine with me, but this probably isn't a place for you, okay? All right, you're going to have to get your hands dirty, all right? So first, we talked about withdrawing. Then I talked to you guys about muting him and why muting is so important. You don't want to be tempting yourself with anything that he's doing. You don't want to be seeing anything that he's posting, and you don't want to allow him even to see that you're watching what he's doing. You want to continue conveying the idea that you're very disinterested in him, even to the point that you don't want to watch his stories. Now, thirdly, this is very important. I've talked about this when I talked about detaching. I want you to throw away every single memento, picture, memory that you have with this guy. Okay, this is very important, and I know some of you won't do this. I know. Some of you might that are actually serious, but I know some of you won't do this. But I'll tell you it anyways so that you can have it in your mind. I want you to throw away every single memory, because if you're trying to get your power back in this relationship, there's a large chance that this relationship is still in its early stages, meaning that you actually haven't built anything for real with this person, with this guy. Nothing wrong with that, but I want you to understand your mind is going to play tricks on you, that because you have given yourself to this guy, because you have shared some obviously very intimate experiences with this guy, your mind's going to play tricks on you where it tells you, hey, you have memories, you have history with this person, you've built things over time and a relationship over time with this person, when for the most part it hasn't been that long, right? And your mind is going to tell you, hey, you've invested so much time in this person and so much energy in this person, you can't let this go now. You can't let this go just like that. You have to continue reaching out. You have to continue doing more things to try to get him to realize how much he appreciates you and how much he wants you and how much he values you. No. I always tell you guys, you do not get guys to value you by doing more for them. Unfortunately, okay? You get guys to value you by doing nothing and allowing those guys to come to their own realization. Okay, so the reason I want you to throw away every single memory, every single picture, every single Snapchat, throw it away or delete it. You throw away his clothes, throw away if he has left his underwear with you, throw it away. If he left his toothbrush at your place, throw it away. Okay, if he's got his favorite snacks in your kitchen, throw them away. Okay, don't cook his favorite meal because it'll remind you of him. Don't watch his favorite shows. It'll remind you of him. Don't watch shows that you watch together. It will remind you of him. Throw away everything that reminds you of him, including the pictures and the videos. Get them off your phone and get them off your computer. Get them out of your Snapchat memories. Get them out of everywhere. Get them out of your Google Drive. Get them out of your Google Photos. Get them everywhere. Do you understand me? Take them off your wall if you have everywhere. Okay? The reason I say that is because, once again, you don't want to be tempting yourself And you don't want to be putting yourself in pain, feeling like, no, I'm supposed to be withdrawing, but it would feel so good to just message him, and maybe he hasn't been getting cell service this entire time, and maybe there's a possibility that he's been messaging me hundreds of times, and because my phone at that particular time hasn't had service, maybe his hundreds of messages just haven't been coming through, and maybe if I send him a message, it'll stimulate his cell service in his cell tower, and then he'll realize that I've been reaching back to him even though he's been no. None of that's been happening. Don't allow. You see, this is what's going to happen when you get triggered by the memories, or you get triggered by seeing his story. Your mind's going to start playing tricks on you and convincing you, no, you should just message him. It's probably just a mistake that he hasn't contacted you. No, you should just message him. It's probably just a misunderstanding that he hasn't reached. No, it's not. It's not. I'm here to tell. Look at my face and remember my voice. Imprint this in your mind forever. When you start thinking like that, it's not a mistake that he hasn't reached out to you. It's not a mistake that he hasn't apologized to you. Okay? I need you to never forget that. Okay? There is no special situation. There is no but he just forgot and he would. No. None of that. He didn't reach out because he didn't want to. He didn't call you or text you because he didn't want to. He didn't apologize because he didn't think he had anything to apologize for. He didn't care. Okay? Are you understanding me? Now, this is why you want to throw everything away. You also want to detach yourself from the idea that this is going to continue. I know that sounds painful, and I know some of you don't want to hear that. This is the part where it's going to be very painful for all of you. So if you have a weak stomach, probably plug your ears for this part. Because I need you to come to the realization that some of the guys you're trying to gain your power back from were not interested in you in the first place. I told you to cover your ears if you have a weak stomach. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you who are trying to gain your power back in the relationship are going to come to the realization when you withdraw that the guy that you wanted or the guy that you thought you were building with was never actually interested in you in the first place, which is why when you withdraw, nothing happens because he has no interest in you, right? You're only stimulating this technique is only working to stimulate the already existing interest a guy has in you to pursue you. If he does not have true, real interest in you and does not actually want to pursue you, then none of this is going to work. And some of you might be like, well, how does he not have interest in me if he's spending time with me? How does he not have interest in me if he's spending all his time inside of me? He gets inside of me 3 times a week. You're telling me this guy isn't interested in you? No, he's just H'd up. Okay? There's a difference between being H'd up and being interested in pursuing you. And for some of you, you're also in a situation in which you've actually been the one pursuing the guy. You've been the one basically pushing the relationship forward, asking him out on dates, right? Scheduling him in your schedule so that you guys can hang out, right? Being available anytime he needs you to be at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever a.m. Okay? You've basically been doing all the work of the guy for the guy. And so as soon as you take a step back and you withdraw and you stop pursuing him, you come to the realization that if it wasn't for the fact you were pursuing him, he would have never bothered to spend time with you in the first place. That's a painful realization, but I need you to understand that will be some of your realizations. Okay? So that's why I want you to throw it away and throw his memories and pictures away so that you can detach yourself from the idea that this has to end in him reaching out to you, apologizing for everything, and then you guys get back together and are together forever, okay? I need you to accept, you breathe it in, you soak it in, and accept it as a reality that he might never message you, he might never call you, he might never reach out to you whatsoever, and that might be the last time you ever speak to him or see him again, and that your life will still be amazing and good if that's the case. I actually need you to truly accept that. Like, truly accept that. Okay? Not fake accept it. I need you to truly accept it as a possibility that your life is good with or without. Okay. Gigi says, LOL, but can't we be Delulu and manifest? Well, here's the thing. Are you trying to manifest into your life a man who will mistreat you and disrespect you? Because that's what you're doing when you're hoping that he comes back in a way where he comes back before he's ready or has made the realization that he wants to do better. So if you're trying to manifest him in a way where you're saying, I only want him back if he has come to the realization that he needs to treat me better and he's ready to do those things. And any other scenario or situation outside of that, you don't want him back. Or you should say to yourself, I don't want him back. And you should accept that either of those two possibilities are great for your life. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have him back in a dynamic that works for you. But you shouldn't desire to have him back just for the sake of having him back. That's when you're becoming attached to the individual as opposed to wanting the situation. I always tell you guys that. Detach yourself from the individual and the idea that I have to be with you. The person I end up with has to be you. No, the person you end up with has to fit the specific criteria of the type of partner you're looking for that best suits you. Whoever presents themselves as fitting that mold will be the person you end up with. So amazing if it's him, amazing if it's a next guy, amazing if it's the guy that you work with. But whoever it is, that will be your partner and that will be the person getting access to you. But if it's not you and you show yourself to not be that person that I'm looking for, I will gladly walk away from you and I'm not going to feel any ways about it. Okay? Right? Lorraine said something very interesting that I'm sure a lot of you are also thinking. She said, I don't think I want him. I think I just don't like the feeling rejected. How many of you are in a situation like that where when you actually think about it, the thing that's hurting you more and putting you in pain more is the feeling of being rejected, right? Or unappreciated by him or feeling less than it actually is about being with him specifically. See, the thing is, I know that that's where some of you are at, right? And this is why it's so important, like I just said, to be actually thinking of what you need and what you desire in a relationship and what a partner will be doing if he presents himself to you in a way where he actually ends up being that person that you need and desire in a relationship. Okay, because when you know what you want and you know what you're looking for, you also know what you're not looking for. So the people that come into your life that are not what you're looking for, you're immediately like, okay, I have no reason to invest in you or care about anything you're doing because you're not even the person I'm looking to invest my time and energy into. So I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you appreciate me. I don't care if you treat me well. You're not even who I'm looking for. Please step to the side while I figure out who it is that I'm actually looking for. Okay? And you begin to dictate and control who has access to you based on what you want, not what someone else wants or not if someone else will accept you. Okay. So I talked about withdrawing. Then I talked about muting. Then I talked about throwing everything away about him. Now, number 4, I want you, excuse me. Number 4, I want you to avoid. Okay. Listen to this part very closely because I know some of you are going to do this. And the reason I know is because I hear your stories, I see your messages, and we read these in the Discord together even too. I want you to actively avoid putting yourself in a position where you're going to go anywhere that you anticipate he is going to be. This is so vitally important, and a lot of you are going to make this mistake. Because you're going to think to yourself, the best way for me to stimulate him coming to the realization that he really wants me badly is for me to show up somewhere where he's going to be. I'm here to tell you, as a man, that is the worst thing you can do. Avoid that at all costs. Why? Because remember, what did I say at the very beginning about withdrawing and what you're trying to do by withdrawing and doing this all in general? You're trying to stimulate him coming to his own realization for himself that he wants to be with you and he wants to be your partner and he wants to be your man and he wants to do right by the situation. And because he wants to do right by the situation, what's going to happen is he wants to figure out a solution. He wants to figure out a resolution. He wants to figure out what he can do to make this situation right. Okay. And because he wants to figure out what he has to do to make the situation right. Oh, hold on. Let me make myself a little bit. Let me pull myself up here. Is it still freezing for you guys? Let me pull myself up in this sheet, man. There we go. I'm gonna pull myself up a bit. Sorry, I just wanted to make myself bigger or more on top here. There we go. There we go. Sorry, it was just bothering me. Okay. Right. Is it still freezing? It's good. It's good, or is freezing still? Freezing still, or is it good? I make me bigger. I like to be big on the screen. Me bigger. There we go. And so it's good now? Okay. And so the reason you want to be avoiding is because you do not want to put yourself in a position where he can not have to simply come to the realization and reach out to you because he wants that forgiveness and because he wants that resolution. See, the thing about it is, if you allow yourself to be seen or spotted in a public place or wherever it is that you meet him, a party, a friend group, a gathering, what's going to happen is rather than him actually having to make the choice of saying, hey, I want to be with you. Hey, I apologize for what I did. Hey, I wronged you. And how can I fix this? How can I make this better? I don't want you to withdraw anymore. What's going to happen is if he sees you at a party, he sees you at a function, he sees you part of the friend group or whatever it may be, he's going to instead, right? He's going to be like, yo, what's your problem? Girl, yo, why you trying to ignore me? You think you too cool for me now, right? He's basically going to circumvent, right? Having to apologize for what he did or acknowledge what he did and just kind of see what buttons he can press to get you triggered again, that you'll become increasingly or go back to being invested in him, right? So he's not going to come out and see you at the party and say, I apologize so much for everything that I did. I apologize that, I treated you wrong. No, he's going to approach you by trying to trigger you or push your buttons in a way that he wants to see. Can I push something or trigger something that will get her reinvested in me, or to get her to act out a character that it will show me that she still cares and is still interested in me? That way I know I don't actually have to take steps forward by apologizing. I don't actually have to take steps forward by reaching out. I don't actually have to take steps forward by doing anything, right? It lets him know that you're still interested enough that he doesn't have to do, okay? He can still relax. I told you, the guys aren't going to let go of that power easily. And when he sees you out in person, it's an easy way for him to come up to you and get something out of you without him actually having to acknowledge his wrongdoing and acknowledge that he wants to make the situation better by taking action towards making the situation better. He gets to skip that step while still getting access to you. And for a lot of you, I know, and don't worry, you're not a bad person because it all happens to all of us. For a lot of you, it's a lot harder to not fold, especially when you're seeing them in person. Especially if that person that you're seeing in person is very good at getting you to be able to step out of character or to trigger you or to say whatever he needs to say, whether it be love bombing or just to say the right things, right? And get you emotional that you fold. Or you forgive him. Or you say, okay, it's not that serious. Right? And it becomes very easy to forgive him and to fold when you see him in person, which is exactly why and precisely why I want you to avoid seeing him in person. And I actually want you to be looking ahead in your life and thinking, what are the chances and the odds that I'm going to see this guy there? Use your brain. You are all super smart individuals. You know, if you're going to a party, you're not stupid. Okay. We've all been here. You know, if you're going to a party, you're going to start getting a gist of what type of people are going to be, who's all going to be there at the party. Oh, it's this person's group of friends. Okay, so this person's throwing the party, so I know he messes with this group of friends. And I know this group of friends is really cool with them. Then when you start hearing particular individuals there, you know in your mind, when you start hearing particular individuals are going to be at that party or are probably going to be pulling up, you know the chances of your man or the guy that you're talking to being there is increasing. And you know when you're hitting a threshold of, yeah, there's a high likelihood if these particular people are here, this group of people are here, that guy's going to be there. So what do you do if you're serious about getting your power back? This is what you do. If you're not that serious about it or you don't care that much, do whatever you want. But if you're serious about getting your power back, you do not show up at that place. Because the same way you're anticipating that he will be there is the same way he's anticipating that you will be there. And what do you think he's going to do if he's anticipating that you're going to be somewhere where he can access you without having to apologize or do any of that stuff that I just discussed? He's going to say, nope, I'm not going to reach out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax because I'm going to see her at that party. And I know exactly what I'm going to say to her and do to her at that party that's going to make her weak, and she's going to forgive me, and I won't even have to actually do anything or even beg for any forgiveness. Guys are not idiots. They might be emotionally stunted, okay? But they're not complete idiots. They know how to get what they want, which is why I'm trying to help you understand how to get what you want, okay? And I'm saying this because I've done this to get what I want. Not saying this because I'm an amazing person. I'm not, okay? Right? And so this is why it's so important to avoid those situations, okay? Avoid them at all costs. Do not be showing up in places where you know he's going to be, right? Lee says, I think you might say that if he shows up or if he ends up being there, should we react or not? No, you should not react. You should ignore him ongoing. But not everyone's like me. See, me, I'm a very cold person. I told you guys, I'm not a super nice person. I'm a very cold person. If I feel like you've wronged me or I feel like you've disrespected me, I will make you feel as if you have ceased to exist. And I mean, like, literally, you'll feel like you're invisible now. Even if I'm looking in your direction, you'll feel like I'm looking right through you. You'll feel like you actually have see, I'm so mean. Even if someone I feel disrespected me comes up to me and embraces me, and I'm telling you the truth. There was a girl one time that I felt disrespected me, and I saw her when I was out at a gathering, and she came up to me and she hugged me and embraced me and said my name. This is in front of me and her friends and everyone around that was in the group. And she hugged me, and I stood there with my arms straight and didn't acknowledge her. And then she continued on for the next 5 minutes to say, "Are you not going to acknowledge me?" Literally waving her hands in front of me. And to the point where the group around and her friends had to pull her away and say, "Yo, just chill. Like, you're doing too much." Okay. And so I say that to say that I don't expect you guys to do that. Okay. Because that's extreme. And not a lot of people have enough strength and willpower to do that. Okay. I'm a very cold person. But I say that to say that is what you should be doing if you see that person in person and if you encounter them in person, okay? Now, are you all going to do that? Most likely not, which is why I'm giving you the alternative advice to avoid putting yourself in that situation in the first place. Because truthfully, like, that's less than 1% of people are actually going to do what I did, okay? So that's not realistic. That's not a realistic option for me to give all of you amazing people, okay? Because you have feelings. I can be quite cold. Okay, so that is why you want to be avoiding. So withdrawing, someone asked, what's my sign? My sign, I'm a Taurus, and my rising sign is Pisces. My moon is Sagittarius. So do with that what you will. If that'll help you understand why I did that. So withdrawing, number 1, mute. Number 2, number 3, throw away everything. You avoid him at all costs. Right? Number 5, this is also very extremely important. Number 5, I want you to anticipate. Now, specifically, what I'm talking about when I say anticipate, I want you to be anticipating the fact that he is not going to, listen to me, he's not going to let go of this easy. He's not going to make it easy for you to withdraw your energy either. This is something very interesting that people do. Not even just men, but people do. I want you to anticipate the fact that when he realizes you've withdrawn from him and guys become increasingly desperate, there's going to be a high likelihood he'll do this thing where he reaches out to you rather than actually acknowledging what he did wrong or, that he wants to fix this or resolve this. He'll reach out to you with some sort of emergency, whether it be emotional, physical, family, brother, sister, right? He's going to reach out to you with some sort of emergency that's going to force you to have to respond to him right now in that moment. Okay? Or call him or reach back out to him. Now, like I say, I don't expect you all to be as cold as me, but I do want you to understand that it is quite convenient for him to have an emergency right around the time that you finally withdrawn from him. Quite convenient. And I need you to understand that, people don't do things for no reason. And it's not a coincidence that that's happening at that time. Now, I know this is going to sound very cold, but if you actually want to gain your power back, you cannot respond to those emergencies. I know, listen, I know it's going to make you feel like a bad person. I know it's going to make you feel like a horrible human being. But I need you to understand the only way people respect you is when you demand your respect and you don't waver on that respect. It is so vitally important that people understand when they disrespect you, there is no way out except to apologize and truthfully be remorseful and take action towards creating a resolution. And you need to train not even just your man, but your friends as well. But in this specific area, we're talking about the guy. You need to train the guys that you're talking to that it is absolutely 100% positively serious when you feel disrespected or you feel mistreated and you withdraw your energy. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is not something you can joke your way out of. This is not something you can laugh your way out of. This is not something you can gift your way out of. You need to actually genuinely be remorseful, and you need to actually figure out what actions you're going to take in order to make this situation okay again. And those actions actually have to be real and genuine and specific, not just vague. And so, like I said, I know it's going to make you feel like a bad person. I know it's going to make you feel like a horrible human being. But even when he reaches out to you with his magical coincidence of an emergency, right? Especially if it's over the phone, in which case they're probably, well, I would say probably, if he's reaching out to you over the phone, there's 100% chance he could get access to someone who could help him quicker and more efficiently than you can. If he's in a physical emergency, I 100% guarantee you calling 911 and getting an ambulance there will be much faster than getting you there. So that crosses that out right there. Okay? If he's in an emotional emergency, I guarantee you calling his mom or speaking to his mom or his best friend or his boy. Yeah, he loves to go out to the club with his boys. He can't have a conversation with his boys about something that's on his mind, right? Or anyone. It's funny because when it's time to go out to the club and go out to party, he's got so many friends. But now that he's in an emotional emergency, he wants to reach out to you like you're the only one that can solve his problems. What happened to all the friends? What happened to all the people? It's shot o'clock. Let's take a shot. When it's tequila time, you got mad friends. Mad friends. But all of a sudden now, I'm the only one that can emotionally support you in this emergency. Let's get for real. I know it's going to make you feel like a bad person. I just need you to understand what is trying to be done here when he does this. Especially when he does this before he apologizes for the wrongdoing. Convenient that he didn't have enough thought of you to reach out to you and apologize for what he did to you or to try to make the situation right. But all of a sudden you popped right into his brain when things were going wrong in his life. See, I'm getting upset because I know this has happened to me. And I remember the feeling of feeling like a bad person, but also realizing that that's manipulation in itself. Okay, right? Oh, let me just fix this. Right? And the reason I say that is because, oh, where'd it go? There we go. And the reason I say that is because it's not gonna feel good for you to do this, but I need you to understand why you're doing it and what purpose it's serving, so that you can realize that if they weren't able to think of you when things were going okay for them, the fact that they're thinking of you now when things are not going okay with them also speaks to how they actually feel about you. Okay? Unfortunate as that is. So you need to be anticipating that he's going to come up with some sort of emergency, right? You also, like I said before, when you're withdrawing, you have to force him to acknowledge what he's doing before you even speak to him, talk to him, do anything with him. Okay? Because what's going to happen is, as he tries to give you these emergencies or these situations, or just trigger you in ways that will force you to respond to him at that moment, what's going to happen is, if you do that, or he triggers you to the point where you tell him, so you don't know what you did wrong, you don't know that you did this and this and that to me, and you treated me wrong, and then you just used me, and then you ignored me, and then you don't take me out on dates, and you don't know, and you start breaking down. See, because I know a lot of you want to send that angry text, you want to send that long paragraph or that huge voice note and tell him all the things he did to you, so he'll come to the realization and he'll feel sorry for it and he'll apologize. No, that, I know you want to do that. I'm here to tell you that's not going to benefit you. I also need you to anticipate that he is trying to actually trigger you to elicit that out of you, because when you do that, one, you're going to show that you really care. So you're going to lose all the things you've been working for, trying to look like you're disinterested. So you're going to show him that you really care by doing that, sending that long message. You're also going to give him the opportunity to deny his wrongdoings when you do that. When you reach out to him and you tell him all the things that he did wrong and why he should want to fix it. Because what's going to happen is, when you say you did this, you did that, da 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 da, now he can say, no, I didn't. It was this. No, I didn't. It was that. No, I didn't. I blah, 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 blah. And then he can refute everything you're saying as if you're in a court of law, or deny or validating you for feeling that way. I told you before, you want the guys to come to their own realization. I want to be with her. I want her. I need to figure out what the issue is and try and solve that issue. Now he's in an open state because he knows there's an issue. He knows he did you wrong, and he wants to actively fix it. So when you tell him, when he comes to you and he asks you, what did I know I did this. I apologize for that. I want to do better. I want to fix this. Let me do this for you. Let me do that to you. Right. And you tell him why you were upset. Now he's in a position where he's ready to receive that, because he wants to make it better. So he wants to know why you're upset, or he wants to know what the solution is. He's in a position to receive that criticism and actually take action on that, instead of being in a position trying to defend himself. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys so far? And why that's so important, right? So, number one was withdrawing. Then we talked about muting, then throwing everything that of his away, then avoiding, right? Then we talk about anticipating what's going to come. Okay, now, what is that? Number 6? Yeah, number 6. I want you to. Number 6 is detach. I talked about this a little bit earlier. Now let's get a bit more specific in the weeds of it. I want you to detach yourself from the idea that everything you're doing here, withdrawing, everything you're doing here, pulling back, taking, not giving him your energy, withdrawing your energy, not texting him, not calling him, not nothing with him. I want you to accept the reality that this whole situation might end in the two of you never speaking again. Okay? I need you to accept that. Eliana asks, are we doing this at once or are this in stages? You're doing this all at once. So obviously this is going to come step by step, but this is gonna happen within a day. Okay. So the reason I want you to detach, right, from the outcome of the situation is because I want you to fully accept that your life is good with him and your life is also good without him. That way, the only way he ends up back in your life is if he is in your life in the way that you need him to be in your life. Because the truth of the matter is, if you just want him back in your life for the sake of not being lonely anymore, you're going to have the same problem. And so everything you worked for will be useless. If you don't detach from the guy, you're going to be in so much pain. You're going to want to check the stories. You're going to give in, right? And you're going to fold. And when you try to do this that we're talking about, when you try to get your power back, I really want you to listen to this because this is very sad and tragic. When you try to get your power back and you try to withdraw your energy, only for you to fold halfway through this process and allow him back into your life without doing taking the proper necessary steps to be in your life, what is going to happen is very sad. Anytime from that point on that you attempt to withdraw your energy, he's not going to take you seriously. Okay? And not only will you have thrown away everything you've been working for, but you will also make it so much harder for yourself to set boundaries in the future, or to put your foot down in the future, or to get him to act right in the future. And so instead, you're going to find yourself in a position where you literally have to send long text and long voice notes and tell him 100 times to act the right way, instead of just being able to simply withdraw your energy and get him to act the right way. Okay? You want to make your life easy by training him that access to you is the reward. And when you're upset, when you're unhappy, all you do is take away that access, take away that energy. And because he wants that so badly, he's already ready to fix the situation. Okay? Also, shout out to the YouTube chat. We have a record number of people here today. We have over 300 people. First time we've had 300. So round of applause for the YouTube chat. So happy to have all you beautiful souls here. Okay? So detach yourself from the outcome that this has to end in you guys being together. And it's okay if this doesn't end in you two being together. Your life is still good and amazing and awesome and plentiful and abundant without him in it, especially if without a guy who's not prepared to treat you the right way in it. Your life is so much better without that. Okay, I need you to come to that realization, because when you come to that realization, it will make it a lot easier for you to deal with the anxiety that you might feel as time goes on and he's not messaging you. Okay? Does that make sense? Because, like I said earlier, this is, as weird as it sounds, this is a battle. Okay? This is a battle. And it's kind of a battle of wills to see who is going to break first. Does he like you, and is he interested in you enough that he's going to be the one apologizing and begging for your forgiveness and trying to fix this and make this better? Or are you so interested in him and want him so badly that you're prepared to do anything to make this situation right? Okay? It literally becomes a battle of wills that way. And so you need to show him and show yourself that you're so detached from the situation that you're not concerned with whether or not you're going to be with him. If you are, you're good. If you're not, you're good also. Okay, right? Afro says, so this advice is for women dealing with wounded men, not healthy men. Well, Afro, yes and no. Because, how do I say this? Healthy men, so to speak, also like power in the relationship. Now, not every I'm not saying that all men are going to try to manipulate you, but I just want you to understand that even men who are genuinely interested in you will, what's the word I'm looking for? try to keep their power. Okay? And sometimes you can actually be in a relationship with a healthy guy that you have to whip into shape. Simply because guys become accustomed to going about their relationships in a particular way. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? You have to understand that G for Living said they are not healthy men then. You have to understand that there is a large portion of men that don't just get into relationships knowing how to treat a woman. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. And sometimes it takes them coming to realizations on how they need to be treating a relationship to realize that. Because they become accustomed to being able to mistreat women and still have relationships with them. And for some men, truthfully, I'm being so honest with you because I have friends like this. They actually need to meet a girl that takes herself seriously and has respect for herself, that they come to the realization, no, I need to treat her with respect. I need to approach her a particular way. I can't lollygag or be inconsistent. And they actually stand up straight after coming to that internal realization. Okay? And as weird as it sounds, a lot of guys need to be taught that by a particular girl. Then they act like that. And then if that relationship ends, they go on in their future acting like that. And for some lucky men, they have their fathers to show them that. And then they understand that right at the beginning. Those, I guess, would be the evolved healthy man right from the beginning. Okay? But some men need the process of learning that and coming to that realization, right? By you showing them, hey, listen, when I say showing them, you don't actually have to do anything, but they come to the realization that, hey, through my interest in you, through my desire for you, and the fact that I want to be with you, I don't like the feeling of feeling like you're disinterested. I don't like the feeling that I feel like you don't want me anymore. I realize now that disinterest has stemmed from what I did wrong to you. Right? People grow, right? So this is what I want you to understand. Even the unhealthy men can become healthy by growing and coming to their own realizations and then making adjustments because they want to make an adjustment. So those men can become quote unquote healthy men too. That's why I said yes and no, because the healthy men will do that. And also the unhealthy men who come to a realization and want to make a change will also do that. Okay? But it's not up to you to decide which one he is. It's up to him to decide that and him to show you which one he is. That's why you always let the man have his space to come to his own realization and figure out what he wants to do. Don't be trying to text him more and call him more and see him more so that you feel like you'll stimulate that. No, you do less. You do absolutely nothing, in fact, and you let him decide which one he wants to be to you. Okay? Right? So we talked about withdrawing, muting, throwing away, avoiding, anticipating, detaching. Now here comes the adjustment. Okay, last step is the adjustment. Now, when I'm talking about the adjustment, what I'm referring to is by the time he comes to you and he apologizes for what he does, he acknowledges his wrongdoing, he acknowledges that you're upset and he did something wrong, he takes accountability for his actions. Now comes him actually, right? Because it's not just enough for him to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You also need him to have some sort of course of action or some sort of plan to resolve this. So when he comes to you and he says, I apologize for doing this, let's say, for example, let's just say for the sake of example, he was constantly messaging you, talking about, oh, let's go on Tuesday. We'll go out and we'll go to a museum. I really want to go to this museum. And every time he plans a date with you to go to the museum, every time the day of, he never messages you back. And he's just gone. Poof, in the thin air. And you become so upset with that. You're like, look, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to be with a man who can't properly plan or schedule a date. And I'm not going to be with a man who can't hold his word on stuff. And so you withdraw your energy because you're sick of dealing with that and you're not going to beg him to be that. So after you withdraw your energy and he says, you know what, I apologize. I shouldn't have stood you up. And I'm never going to do that again. I want to make this better. From now on, when we plan and we schedule a date, I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to make sure that we're on time, and I'm going to send you a follow-up text the night of and the day before to make sure we're still on, and it will never happen again. Whatever situation that was leading me to forget these dates that we had planned, I'm going to make sure I actually take steps towards changing that so I don't continuously forget. It can't just be him apologizing, saying, I'm sorry for forgetting all our dates, and then moving forward, okay? You always want the guys to be in a position where, yes, they're ready to make this better. Yes, they're ready to, they want that forgiveness and they don't want you to withdraw anymore. Now that they're open, right, to hearing from you what you want and what you expect, right? I don't necessarily want you to do the job of telling him how he should make an adjustment, but I want you to make it be clear that if there's not some sort of plan or course of action to the adjustment being made, then you're not interested in an apology. And then you leave it there. Okay? So you allow him the space to say, okay, this will be the course of action. You let him know that you don't just expect him to apologize. That's cool that he apologized. It's cool that he acknowledged that. But if there's no plan or course of action, then everything is going to stay the same. Let him, at that point, be a man and say to himself, okay, my gears are turning, my gears, plan, course of action. Okay, so then that must mean I need to come up with some sort of solution to make sure this doesn't happen again. And then let him say, okay, I'm going to start putting this in my calendar. I'm going to start doing da-da-da-da. I'm going to start da-da-da-da. Then you can say, okay, I can work with that. That sounds, like a plan. Let's see if that works. And you just let it be there. See, this process is all about giving guys the space to feel like they came to their own realization, to feel like they reached out to you because they wanted to reach out to you, and then to give them the tool, just set the groundwork that they can feel like, oh, okay, no, this is the answer. I found the answer. Look, I found the answer. Don't you like my answer? And you say, oh, that could work. And they go, okay, I happy. Are you happy? Yeah, sure, I'm okay. And they're like a golden retriever. They're like a dog, right? They're so happy that you're happy now, right? And they're so happy that you're in approval of what they're doing, right? And you're also training him to actually have to do the work of thinking to himself, having the critical thinking skills. Okay, this was an issue. Me and my girl do not want this to be an ongoing issue. I have to be a man and think on how to resolve the issue. What are the possible solutions to the issue? See, you're training him to use his critical thinking skills in your relationship. Not that you won't communicate, not that you won't discuss or let him know what's on your mind, but in the process of him trying to work through situations with you, he actually has to be a man and use his brain and be like, okay, I can't just let issues continue to be issues and apologize for them and hope they stop being issues. I actually have to do work of thinking about how I can prevent this from being an issue. And you see, that's how you get a man who can take accountability. But then also when he does make a mistake, he can actually figure out how to stop making it a mistake. Not just apologizing for the same mistake over and over and over again. Okay? This is why you can't, I know it's very hard. And I know some of you are going to, as soon as he says that he wants you to forgive him or he apologized for something, you just want to say, okay, I forgive you. Let's move on. I want to kiss you all over the face, right? You still have to stay patient until he figures out how to actually make an adjustment for the future that's going to no longer lead to the same mistake happening over and over again. Okay, so it's not just he apologizes to you, then you forgive him, and then you're at his house the next day or the same day. He apologizes to you, but then he also needs to do the work of coming up with a course of action on how this is not going to be a thing anymore. And if he can't do that, I'm sorry to tell you, that's probably not the guy for you. Why? Because if that man can't have the critical thinking skills on how to resolve conflict, or to not have problems be problems anymore, that's not even a guy that can lead you and your children. Okay, you're not with a man that can lead you and a family. So if that's the case, you have no business investing your time and energy into that guy. Because like you guys were talking about healthy men, the mature men, the men, right? they will be able to use their critical thinking skills and figure out, even if it's mundane, even if it's basic, even if it's small, they'll be able to figure out some sort of strategy to move forward to at least try and not make this same situation an ongoing situation. And if he has intention towards you, if he has intention towards building and growing this relationship, this should not be a super difficult process. Okay? That's what I want you guys to clue into. Like, I know what I'm saying when I'm breaking it down like this. It sounds like, oh my God, there's so many steps. Oh my God, no men are this smart. Oh my God, men won't be able to do this. Like, I want you to understand, all of this happens naturally through the tunnel, through the place of him being interested in you and desiring you and wanting to be with you and build a relationship with you. It's not very hard to think about, okay, we don't want this to be an ongoing situation, so we're probably going to have to problem solve to figure out how this is not going to be an ongoing situation. Okay. And these are part of the things that become natural if he's actually invested in you and growing this relationship. If he's not, this will be a struggle. Okay. I'll just be super honest with you. If he's not actually super serious about building this relationship with you, this part will be a struggle to come up with some sort of adjustment and plan and course of action for the future. He'll be like, but I already said sorry. Isn't sorry enough? I told you I'm sorry. What do I have to do now? He's not ready. He's not ready. Okay? Not ready. Does that make sense to you guys? Or do you guys have any other questions as to what we just discussed? I know I went in deep there. Right? Someone said, we seriously need to stop. Where'd it go? We seriously need to stop what is that word? In facilitating men? Infatuating? I don't know what that word is. I know some big words. I don't know that word. If he wants you, he'll do everything to keep you. I think you meant say insulating. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I was trying to read that word. I didn't understand that word. Right? That's a new word. That's a new word. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm smart, but I don't know everything. Okay, so Shelliana says, nope, low effort. I need my man kissing my feet and giving me flowers daily for no reason. Hey, you can get that. And I always tell you guys, you can get whatever you want in a relationship. Oh, I also acknowledge, I forgot to acknowledge, Electric Feel donated in the YouTube chat. She donated $20. Electric Feel is like the top donator across all parts of on YouTube and on TikTok. So thank you so much to Electric Feel, who donates $20 in the YouTube chat. Let's give her a round of applause. Electric Feel says, this $20 helps me earn good karma for attracting my person. I hope so. I hope so too. Thank you so much, Electric Feel, for the $20, right? Tasha says, is the screen not in front of you? No, it's off to the side, because if it's in front of me, then it'll be in front of the camera. It's off to the side. I have a couple screens off to the side. Okay. ABC says, male friends are dating you with low effort if you look deep into it. Trust me. Trust you me. Trust you me. Sometimes it be like that. It be like that. Ellie says, do I need to apply these strategies to my marriage? I need help. Well, if you feel like you don't have a lot of power in your marriage, then I would say that this would probably be something you would want to look into trying. Now, obviously, if you're married, these strategies are going to look slightly different than if you are just casually talking to someone or in a situationship with someone, because taking your power back from your husband is not going to be as simple as avoiding the places that he goes. You live with him if you're married to him, for the most likely. And so there are going to be some adjustments that have to be made if you're going to do that with your husband. And it's going to look slightly different. But if you take away the concept, you can apply these things in a particular way to your marriage that could still work. Okay. Now, it's definitely going to be very strange, because when you set the groundwork, I always tell you guys, not to disappoint some of you, but I always tell you guys, the groundwork you set at the beginning of the relationship is vitally important to how the rest of the relationship plays out. So for some of you that have set a particular type of groundwork in your relationship, especially if you're married, now, not that it's impossible, but it becomes very difficult to like start trying to undo that and like reverse that. Okay. Not that it's impossible, but it takes a little bit more effort and there's quite a bit more friction. Okay. You can imagine how it feels for someone to feel like they have the power in the relationship for the past 10 years. And then all of a sudden the script is getting flipped on them. It's very strange for them. Also, Deb donated $20. You guys love donating today. This is donation fest. Donated $20 in the YouTube chat. Love the advice. She says, great job helping sisters. Thank you. Thank you so much, Deb. I really appreciate that. And thank you to all the people who donated in the TikTok chat as well. Okay. I want to acknowledge you guys as well. All right. So, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's Discord time. Let's get it. Okay, we got a lot to answer in the Discord. We got a lot to get to. It's a Monday, so you know we've been having some Discord questions throughout the Monday, and you know we got some good stuff to get to through. we got some stuff to get to. We definitely got some stuff to get to. Let me make sure okay, so Holly's was the last one I answered. Okay, so this next one comes from A. Okay, it kind of I don't know why it does that. It kind of takes out usernames like that. Anyways, this one comes from A. There's a full name here, but it just says A. She says, Tomisin, please read first. Oh my God, this is so crazy. All right, chat, buckle up, because this is when someone says this, it's usually insane. Okay, so let's buckle up here and get to reading. So A starts off by saying, I'm 25, have a husband who's 76. Oh my, wait. Sorry. You guys can't see this on the TikTok chat. Let me get you guys situated here on the TikTok chat, cuz this is actually insane. I'm at a loss for words here. Let me get you guys situated on the TikTok chat. My apologies. Okay. Wow. We just started off crazy. We started off absolutely insane. I was not expecting that. That was not on the bingo card. Let's get to it so that can you guys see that? Is that all good? Let me make it a bit smaller there so you guys can read that. Okay. Yes, we'll I was not ready. Okay, we'll restart this part. So, A says, Tomisin, please read first. This is so crazy. She starts off, I am 25, have a husband who is 76. I don't think I've ever seen an age gap that different. Whom I love dearly, but our situation is chaotic. I would imagine he's very close to passing away. So I would imagine that's chaotic on a daily basis. You don't even know if he's going to wake up. It began a couple of years ago when I caught him at a gay bar making out with other men. Okay. You said it was gonna be crazy. Okay, I don't think I was prepared yet. Okay, I'm gonna I need to prepare mentally. Okay, so this is just gonna get wilder. We're in like the first two sentences. He apologized, claiming he was drugged. Okay. And I forgave him because such incidences are known to happen at those bars. Months later, I found him receiving I found him receiving head from our male assistant. I I'm in like a permanent state of shock. I I I don't even know. I don't know how to feel about anything that you're saying here. Hey, this is this is um this is genuinely insane. Okay, I need to collect myself. Uh, wait, I don't understand. With the assistant in my dresses, I joined them. Wait, but hey, I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't understand. A chat. I don't understand. Is this in English or is this one in hieroglyphics? I don't understand it. I don't understand this one. I don't understand. This is Monday. I thought I opened up the what did I open up? Is this Reddit or Discord? I don't is this my Discord? I don't know. Am I in the right Discord chat? I think I'm in the wrong one. Someone check for me. Is this the right? I think I'm in like a Reddit, like a subreddit here. That's like about. I don't know if this is my Discord. I think I clicked the wrong one. Sorry, in my distress. Sorry, not in my dresses. This says in my distress. Yeah. So I did read that part wrong. Okay, good. Okay, in my distress. Sorry, my I was in such shock. I joined that. Wait, but still, I don't understand though. In my distress, I joined them. You make it seem like that was the reasonable react. I'm sorry, I keep pausing. I'm just trying to. I feel like I'm missing. I feel like I'm confused, and I'm just missing a lot. I'm gonna start crying. The assistant lived with us for 4 months, sometimes sharing our bed. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it. This man, you're giving him heart palpitations. He's not even going to be able to take this much aerobic activity. I don't understand why you're doing this to this man. He needs to be relaxing. I don't understand. You're 25. Why are you doing this to this man? Like, is he taking his blood pressure pills? Are you making sure he's properly high? He's an old man. I, I don't know. 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 Sometimes sharing our bed or sneaking off with my husband to the guest room. Okay. My husband insists he loves only me and is just sharing his love with others. Is that what that is? He stopped being pineapple active with other men for a few months. I guess that's good. Okay. But then he was rushed to the ER. I told you, he can't take that much aerobic activity. With a cucumber stuck in his back. I think I'm in the wrong Discord. I think I'm in the wrong Discord. Oh my God. I just don't understand. This man is 76. He claimed he slipped off a ladder while making a. Okay. Chat. Okay. Come on. I'm sorry. Like what? Like what? No. Okay. No. Okay. I'm not. No. Okay. No. Mind you, he usually is. He usually is naked when he's at home. So when you're naked, you slip making salad on a full cucumber. Okay. I believed him until our male assistant arrived at the ER apologizing for the incident. The only reason I believe this is real is because this is so specific that you would either have to be such a creative person to come up with this, or like it's just too specific. Like it's way too specific. 76 cucumber. Like, okay. I believe until a male assistant arrived at the ER apologizing for the accident. I left to stay with my brother-in-law, and now I'm pregnant after having I think I read that part wrong. I left to stay with my brother-in-law, and now I am pregnant after having an affair with him. Did I read that part right, or is that one not in English? I think not in English, that one. Hmm. Because I don't, brother-in-law, pregnant, affair. I feel like none of those words uh are put together in a sentence that should be making sense. I don't know. I'm confused. Let's go on. My brother-in-law refuses to claim the baby and confessed he's in love with our male assistant. So your brother-in-law, who is your man's brother, is in love with your man's side piece. Despite everything, I love my husband and I want to return home. But I'm unsure. This is my first time reading this through, guys. I've never seen this before. But I'm unsure if he truly loves me. He's very generous buying me houses and giving me a 250K a month allowance. I'm also scared of upsetting him because his family is a part of an Okay, no, I think you're trolling me now. Okay, yeah, this is a troll. Okay, you gave it away here. Okay, nah, thank you for giving it away. Okay, avocado cartel. Okay, yeah. You had me for a second. You had me for a second. I'm thinking about having pineapples with my husband, and I'm considering telling my husband the baby is his and keeping the assistant away, as he seems to be trying to run our family. What should I do? Well, if this was real, I would say run away. But this is a troll, okay? Obviously this is a troll. Avocado cartel, come on, like let's get so for real. Now, okay, I'll give you some simple advice just in the wildest scenario so you guys won't say I'm discriminating. Oh, my story is true. It really happened to me. Okay, Mrs. Avocado Cartel. All right, I feel like this man is dangerous. I feel like there's no reason for you to be in this relationship. If you're scared of upsetting him, just break up with him as if you don't want to be with him. And then that way, at least it won't make him feel like you had an affair with him. If you're too scared and you feel like your life is in danger, then just stay with him and cheat on him, okay? Because I don't know what else you can do aside from go to law enforcement. But I guess if he's in the avocado cartel, he's probably a pretty dangerous man. And so you're kind of left out of options here. You either got to pretend to just leave for regular reasons because you don't like the relationship anymore, or you got to stay and play it out. But the avocado cartel sounds pretty dangerous, okay? Thanks for the question. You had me there for a second. Maybe it's not a troll. Maybe it's not a troll, but you had me there for a second. Okay? Angie B says, can you change casual relationship into more? Okay. Female, so you're 38 and the male is 26. You got the message way too late and did not set your boundaries early on. Is it possible to make changes today to try and change this casual relationship into something more official? If not, then definitely learn some lessons and education from your show to present this in the future. Excuse me. Ironically, Angie B, I hope you're seeing this today and I hope you watched today's show because this actually pretty much perfectly answered your questions on exactly what steps to take to get your power back. Because getting your power back is also the way that you get a guy to realize that he wants to be in an actual relationship with you. Because if it's casual, right, and he's not showing you any sort of commitment and you're trying to stimulate that commitment, then you need to withdraw yourself from him and basically do all the steps that we talked about until he comes to the realization that he wants to be with you and he wants to build a relationship with you. Very important, Angie B, if you're trying to turn something from casual into being serious, you need to let the guy make his own decision on that and actually want that. And if he's going to make his own decision on that and actually want that, then you have to pull yourself back and withdraw yourself that he can feel your absence. And because he no longer wants you to be absent and he wants to be with you, he then goes on to do the things necessary to be with you. That's how you stimulate that Angie B, okay? Someone said cougar. I mean, 38 and 26. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You guys think that's a cougar? Megan says, pineapples, pineapples, pineapples. Okay, SpongeBob. Hey, I'm 21 and getting the feel of the comparison between hookup culture and romantic relationships. Thanks to you and a few others. So glad to help. Now, sorry if this sounds like a lot of horns, if you know what I mean. I know what you mean. But before I even begin, I have to let you know that I've only ever been with 3 people in the past, but you're just so aged up. So growing up, I've had such a hard time giving away Squirtle to guys who don't deserve it. Okay, good. Your advice 2 years ago would have changed my life. I must say. But since I did not have these resources at the time, I consistently got used as a young adult and have done almost everything you've ordered us not to do. You've taught me so well, and your advice has done wonders for my confidence in life. Now, I will say my discipline has improved over the years, and I've mastered celibacy and abstinence. But here's the thing, there's nothing on this planet like pineapples. We know this. So you're an addict. Let's go on. There's so much variety, so many sizes and lengths. You're addicted. This is crazy. So many positions, so many fantasies, and KINKSs to try. So many categories. You love it, don't you? Your Squirtle's probably Squirtling typing this out. And I think we can all agree that it's even better when it's from someone you know isn't for you. Wow. I won't comment because this is not about me. Tracy's dog is no longer doing the job. Okay, you did not get a Tracy. No, don't tell me you already got one, okay? Because I only mentioned that a few weeks ago, unless you did get one. But there's no way you've worn it out by now. It's actually a really amazing toy. Tracy's dog sucking vibe. Go search that up if you guys haven't already. It will change your life. I know. Don't ask me how I know. I just know, okay? I know a lot of things about a lot of things. And it's been so long since I felt something. I miss being folded like a lawn chair. What is happening in today's Discord? What is actually happening? But the loyalty to the relationship I will eventually be in has kept me supported for now. I just don't want to put forth all this effort trying to save myself and be such a delicacy to a guy who's already screwed 10 times the amount of people I have before meeting me. So I'm wondering, if I get into a casual situationship on my journey, is it okay to live in the moment scarcely and have pineapples with guys I just want casual connection with, just like how they do? Even if it's not every single guy I meet, which it won't be, just whenever I'm ready to break my celibacy. This won't be a revenge act. I will not be doing this simply because men do it. It would just simply be for my pleasure. Okay, actually, this is a great question, Megan, because I know some of you are wondering this. So my answer to you is truthfully, and okay, this is the thing. If you are a pineapple addict and you love you some pineapples, nothing wrong with that. We all do. Well, some of us do more than others. Okay. I enjoy it myself. If you know you enjoy that, here's the issue that you're going to run into. If you're doing it because you want to be able to enjoy it casually, maybe without growing your body count to something crazy, you're going to run into the issue of, if you ever do meet a guy that you have really, really, really good pineapples with, and I mean like your Squirtle squirtling all over the place, it's life-changing, your body shaking in ways that you never could imagine it would shake, you're feeling things go inside you in spots that you didn't even know that you had, and it's just life-changing, okay? When you experience that, it's going to be, you're a woman, okay? You're an emotional being. We're all emotional beings, but even you more so as a woman, it's going to become very difficult to detach yourself from that guy when he's doing that to you. Trust me. I'm telling you. Okay? When you're being penetrated by a maniac, okay? someone who really gets you, and I mean gets you and understands your body, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to wean yourself off that man. And the problem starts when you're trying to actively build new relationships with new people and you're becoming increasingly attached to this man. Because what's also going to happen is, even in the event where you do build a relationship with a really good, nice guy, and this monster of a man is D'ing you down like a maniac, any kind of nice, friendly, caring guy who just wants to take care of you and make sure you're good and rub your feet, you're literally going to be so disinterested and disgusted in him if he's just a normal, regular, nice guy. Because you've been getting D'd down by a maniac. And because you're really invested in your pleasure in pineapples, you're going to find it so difficult to actually enjoy regular guys if you're getting D'd down by a maniac. And a lot of times, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, you're going to be getting D'd down by a maniac who's not committed to you. And you've already established that this is a casual relationship. So now you're finding it difficult to detach yourself from a guy who's not going to commit himself to you. So yeah, maybe you haven't increased your body count that high, but you're going to find it very difficult to actually invest yourself into guys who aren't D'ing you down like the maniac. Right? And when you're in that situation, it's going to become so hard to really build with new people. You're just going to want to continuously go back to casually being with this guy. The problem's going to lie when the years are going by and you're turning down really good guys and really good opportunities to build relationships with some amazing guys. Because you're so consistently attached to this guy, going on and off with him, you're going to end up saying to yourself, okay, maybe I'll just try to make it work with him. You're going to realize for whatever reason that it's not going to work with him in terms of being in a relationship, and you're just going to keep yourself in limbo. That's the part that's going to really hurt you in this situation, is not the fact that you're enjoying yourself and keeping your body count low. It's the limbo you're going to continue putting yourself in individually, personally, that's going to make it difficult for you to grow new relationships with people who you're meant to be with. That's actually who you're looking for as a partner. Okay. Getting D'd down like a maniac is just one part of what you're looking for, but you need to actually be open emotionally and physically to meeting new people and growing and learning those people. You won't be able to do that if you're getting D'd down by a maniac, because look at this message that you're sending me. There's so much variety. There's nothing on this planet like pineapples. So many sizes and lengths and positions. So many fantasy. Imagine this is you talking, removed from being with any one particular man. So imagine the type of things going through your mind when you've been D'd down like a maniac by one particular guy. You're going to be going insane. You're going to literally be going insane, thinking about it all the time. And so how are you possibly going to be building a relationship with any guy, even if he's nice, even if he's amazing, even if he's everything you ever wanted, when your mind is so hyper fixated on the guy that's D'ing you down? Especially when you're this into it. Okay? I'm not saying that because it's bad to be into pineapples. I'm just saying that because I want you to understand the position it puts you in the future. So my honest advice to you would be to, while you enjoy it and you love it, I want you to hold your water until you meet a guy that you really actually like are feeling on an emotional level, that you have some depth with. Because as much as you talk about here how amazing it feels and all that good stuff, it feels even better, right? You said it feels even better with someone you know isn't for you. Trust you me, it feels even better with someone who actually you're building a real relationship with and have built a real relationship with, that there's real love in between you guys, and he D's you down like a maniac. Okay, where you can be yourself and lose your mind while you guys are together, and just you can do whatever, say whatever, you can dirty talk however you want, you can say whatever KS you have, you can talk about it, you can do it, you can sit on his face, you can do whatever you want to do, and there's still love between you guys. That is like the level up. You're 21, so you don't know about that lifestyle. Don't worry, maybe one day you'll get there, but that will change your life. It would change your life. Trust you. Let's trust in each other. Look at me. That would change your life forever. Okay. When you have that, and it is possible. Trust you, me, you trust in each other. Okay. So that is what you should be doing, Megan. Okay, on to the next question here. Let's see. We got I can tell some of these are funny by the titles. We got Stargazer. Stargazer says, advice please, recent widow. By the way, I appreciate you guys all keeping it basically under the character count. I like that, okay? Advice please, recent widow. Thank you so much for your channel. Not only has it been enlightening, but very painfully healing. Please offer private advice. I desperately need your advice, but don't want to air it in public. Thank you. Stargazer, here's the thing. I would love to be able to give you guys some private advice. But the thing about my schedule is, as it stands now, I am doing so much in building this channel and building all the beautiful, amazing things that make the show more interesting for you guys to watch. I'm trying to build those out currently. And so all my energy has to go into the show. Not that I don't enjoy helping you guys and trying to give you guys some personal advice if you need it, but it becomes difficult to be able to do both things at once. So giving you all some personal advice, because I've had lots of people ask me for personal consultations, and then also trying to give the best show that I can give as well, you know, because I always like to do things 110% and give my all to them. So that's the only reason why now at this point I don't do personal advice. In the future, when I expand my team of people, because it's just me, I do everything. When I expand to a team of people, get some editors. If some of you are great editors, please message me. I would love to hire an editor. When I get some editors, get some producers, really get some autonomy going with the show, then I can start stepping into other avenues and doing that. So unfortunately, no private advice for now, okay? But if you want to ask your question in a vague sense on the show, you can always send your question in on the show and I'll answer it, okay? Princess Jasmine asks, he doesn't know I exist. Princess Jasmine says, hey Tomisin, I want to start off by saying I really appreciate your content and it has already helped me with my journey of becoming more feminine. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. First, I have a question that I would love for you to answer. Many dating coaches advocate for being on dating apps. Really? Tell me, chat. I don't know what other people be saying. Do a lot of other dating coaches? I'm just a regular person. I don't think I'm a dating coach or expert. But many other dating coaches, do they advocate for being on dating apps? Am I the only one that says maybe it's not the vibe? I didn't know that. Maybe it's just a me thing. Okay. Especially, I see a lot of people saying, some people saying yes. Yeah, some do. Okay. Especially as a woman, to see what's out there and have many options. But I've heard you're not a fan of them. Oh, if you've been here for a while, you should know I'm not a fan of them. Can you please elaborate on why? Thanks in advance. Okay, so I'll answer this part of the question first. So the reason I'm not a fan of dating apps is simply because I think that while the preface of dating apps, meaning what it's meant to be is a place for single people to meet each other, chat, eventually go out on dates, and you to be able to meet single people that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise been able to meet for a plethora of different circumstances or situations. I understand the preface, but I think what it's turned into is a feeding ground for the men who want things quick and easy. Because in the reality of it is, before dating apps, if men wanted to meet women, they would have to go to a bar, get dressed, be hygienic, look interesting, have some good chat, some good game, be funny, right? They'd have to be engaging, right? And be able to get your number in person on the spot, right? All of that takes a lot of work. And I think now with dating apps, men have become a lot more lazy and passive, where they can sit back. And you guys might not know this. Maybe one day I'll show you. But for those of you who are on YouTube or after this show, I'd advise you, there's a whole side of YouTube that actually teaches men how to have the most intriguing dating profile with their pictures and their prompts, to the point where guys are actually paying for courses from other guys or watching videos on other guys where they teach each other exactly what prompts to write and bios to write that will elicit the most responses from the girls. Okay, what type of pictures to post? Post a picture with your dog, they say. Post types of pictures where you look the most adventurous, they say. Right? I've watched these videos, so I know that they exist. I'm not like, it's not like I'm removed. I've watched, when I was on dating apps, because I don't just talk to you guys as if I'm someone who's never experienced this. When I was on dating apps, I watched those videos, so I know that they exist, right? And so the guys teach each other, literally, put this in your bio word for word, and girls will hit you up and respond like this. Okay? And the same way I'm teaching you guys about how guys think is the same way the guys sit down and they teach each other. If you want to get the most messages on Hinge or the most messages on Bumble or the most messages on Tinder, put these as your profile pictures and make these your prompts or your bios. And they even get to the point of saying, make this your pickup line or make this your first line. Ask her this, it'll force her to answer you. Or ask her that, it'll make you look interesting. And I'm telling you, like, this actually happens. And so the reason I'm telling you all of this is because that's the problem with dating apps. Guys use this strategy on the dating app to present themselves to get the most quantity of women. It's like they're casting the widest net, right? They're going out into the ocean and casting the widest net to gather the most amount of fish. But what ends up happening is you're not messaging him or talking to him because you're actually interested in the person that he is. You're actually messaging or talking to the profile that he set up based on what he learned the best way to get responses is. So you might think you're sharing a connection with someone, with a guy particularly, that you don't actually share a connection with. You get what I'm saying? And so that's how you find yourself in a situation where you're chatting with someone, thinking you guys are going to build something, only to actually meet them and realize he's not your type at all. And then you start wondering to yourself, what's the disconnect here? Because I thought things were going good up until the time I met you, but now it feels like I'm not even talking to the same person. When you were never talking to the real them in the first place. That was the problem. Okay, so that's part of the reason why I don't like dating apps. I'm always an advocate of meeting people in person, and I'm actually working on a really big project to solve those two issues. Okay, I'll tell you guys later. I'm working on it now. Now the main part, you're a 22-year-old girl who wants to date only to marry. The country you live in, I'm reading as you. The country I live in has many people of my religion with similar cultures, so I don't find that a problem at all. Okay, good. Basically, I got curious about a guy that I found on Instagram by coincidence while stalking another page. Okay, I won't say anything yet. He must be in his early to mid 20s. Plus, he lives in my city because of his Instagram bio. Other than that, I've only seen a profile picture of him that I really liked. I want you all, and you as well, Princess Jasmine, to remember this, because I know that this is going to come into play later. Where did it go? Okay. I have only seen a profile picture of him that I really liked. Okay. This is going to come into play later. I haven't even read this, but I know it well. So since he doesn't know I even exist, we have no mutual connections, and I have never seen him in real life. My girlfriends have told me the only way to get his attention is by requesting him. That makes sense, but his profile is private with the same amount of followers as following. I think that's good, but it also makes me assume he only accepts and follows people he knows. Reasonable assumption. My account is public. I have no posts. Highlights, only a profile picture of myself. So why would he follow you? Use some simple logic. You don't even post. Sending him a follow request will also kind of get in the way of my ego. Yeah. But at this stage, I don't have anything to lose, as my friend said. Our city isn't huge though, so I might run into him someday, which would be a bit of an embarrassing moment for me. But most importantly, something just doesn't fit right with me about the idea of making the first step as the girl as I have heard, it starts off the dynamic wrong. What do I do? Thank you. Okay, this last part you do understand. So even if you were to hit him or follow him and then message him, or even if you were to follow him and then he messages you, the fact that you seeked him out is starting off things on the wrong foot, because you're starting off your relationship from the aspect of, oh, I desired you, I saw you, and so I went towards you and approached you. It's like the digital version of approaching a guy, okay? So it's not good. You're giving him power from the very start, because you're making him feel like if you're approaching him, you're already interested in him. So why does he feel like he has to do more for you? You're already interested in him. You already want him. I know you saw him on Instagram. This is where I say it's going to come into play. I know you saw him on Instagram. This is the same thing with dating apps though. I need you to accept the reality that all that's happening here is you like his profile picture. Like when I say you like his profile picture, I mean you see the picture in the small circle and you think that the picture of that human being in the small circle is attractive. I want you to soak that in, because I need you to understand that is the basis of everything you're doing here. Is a small picture of a human being who you might not even necessarily be that guy, in a really small circle that you can't even expand to see properly. And that's what you're trying to build. Like, that's what's motivating you to build this relationship. You don't know him. You don't know anything about him. He could be a horrible person. He could be he could have a girlfriend. You have no idea. And you're so hyper fixated on a profile picture that you're willing to toss aside your pride and pursue him simply because of a profile picture. And you might meet him and he might be a garbage human being. Not to say that he is. But this is why I always try to caution you guys and steer you guys clear of meeting people online, because you fall in love with things that don't represent the real person. This is a single profile picture of the man that might not even represent what he looks like on an everyday basis. And this is what literally I don't want to say fallen in love with, but this is what you've attached yourself to the point where you're thinking about the possibility of dating him or not dating him, but like, you know what I mean? You want to get to know him, right? And you're thinking about the possibilities simply because of his profile picture. And this is where you can easily become delusioned this way, when everything about the person becomes so heavily fixated on their online persona that you start building their character in your mind based on some pictures and some videos. I know it sounds silly when I'm describing it like this, but this is what's happening. So Princess Jasmine, my advice to you is honestly to do nothing, okay? You need to understand, while your city might be small, there are other guys in this world. And instead of sifting through Instagram to find guys, why don't you take steps outside of your house and sift through the vast world that exists around you? And in the process of that, you will see a plethora of other human beings. It's magic. It's magic. When you step outside of your house, there are other human beings actually existing. And you never know what could happen when you step outside of your house, and the possibilities are endless. Obviously, your city is small. You can go to a major city that's close to you. Visit that with your friends or your girlfriends. Okay? Right? If your city is that small, super small. And there's just so many options and things you can do that you can meet wonderful people that will be just as attractive as this guy you're eyeing on Instagram. And you have to understand that, look, if that guy wanted you, he would hit you up, he would talk to you, he would message you, but you're not gonna, there's no need for you to be reaching out to guys like this. It doesn't put you in any sort of winning situation where you'll be happy anyways, okay? So that's my advice to you. Let's do another one here. Let's see who we have. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we could do this one. Nazara. I think that's how you say it. Nazara. Okay. I hope I'm saying that right. Nazara. Or is it Nazra? Nazra. No, it sounds like Nazra. Nazra. Okay. Is it a trap? Nazra says. He first reached out to me for a reading because he was, I don't think I can say this, unalivable. And after that, we've been talking ever since 3 months ago. So he was unalive Badal, and you chose to talk to that man who was in an unstable mental state. I wonder why this didn't work out. Okay. We started off talking always, and he always texted me and called. He always called me, text me. We have a lot of things in common, from the age it happened and scenario. Wait, what? Age what happened? Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I told him I love him. What's with the Discord today? What is with you guys today? I'm not gonna lie, I told him I love him. When did you meet this? 3 months ago. And it's not like you're seeing him all 3 months. How many times did you see each other in person? You've been talking a lot, and he calls you and he texts you. What's going on? Do to out of love as a friend love you? Yeah. Because he was going through something, and he told me it back, and we say it a lot now. I don't get it, man. We still talk, but not as much as I want, but I just think it's weird how he can tell me things. He lives in Philly, just moved there recently, while I live in Jersey, and we're having a hard time seeing each other because of our situations, financial. So neither of you even need to be dating right now, basically, is what you're saying. You're not even in a position where you're ready to be dating. We're both 25. It seems like when he texts me, he tells me he misses me, since he doesn't text me much. But when we do, we're on video chat for like 2 to 5 hours. But it seems like it's half pineapple-y. Then the rest is us just casually talking. You're telling me you spend like 3 hours just talking about pineapples with this guy? Like, I get you're aged up. I get you enjoy dirty talk, but 3 hours? Just rub yourself out, let him whack himself off. 10 minutes back and forth dirty talk. Oh, what am I going to do to you? Oh, I'll do this to you if I'm right here. I do this to you if I'm next to you. I take you like this. I put my hand on this. I put my feet on this. Bust, both of you not. It's done. 3 hours? I think you guys are just extending this out longer than it needs to be. It's just dirty talk and bust. It's not that serious. He also talks about me being his future wife and getting me pregnant. That sounds like dirty talk, to be honest with you. Sounds like this is like part of your dirty talk. Like in the 3 hours, I'm gonna put a baby in you. I'm gonna like, that's why I say just dirty talk and nut. Get it over with and move on. Like, don't, like, what is this whole, okay, anyways. I want to talk to him less, like how you say. Is he just trying to get Squirtle or whatever you call it? Thank you. Okay, well, I mean, 3 hours of dirty talk? What do you think he's there for? I don't know what you expect. Like, he's just a boy. 3 hours you spend on the phone dirty talking, on video chat. So you probably spreading those legs open, showing him that Squirtle. Let's get so for real. Or you showing him that dump truck, one of the two. If it's on video chat and it's pineapple for half the time, let's get for real. You showing him that dump truck, or you showing him them Yiddies. You showing him something. I'm not saying that to say that you're a bad person, but this is 3 months in. I haven't seen you even mention seeing each other in person. I think it's because the only time you met each other actually, my mistake. I just realized that a reading can happen over the phone or over the internet. So this actually doesn't even mean that you met each other in person. And you haven't mentioned meeting each other in person. You've only mentioned that he lives in Philly. So hard time seeing each other. Sounds like maybe you've only seen each other the time that you did the reading, or maybe once or twice in the entire time you've been with him. Nazara, Nazaria. Uh, if neither of you are in a financial situation to be able to see each other, I think both you and him need to be focused on getting your financial situation where it needs to be before you start thinking about dating. Now, obviously, you're the woman, so a little bit less like you just need to be, if you can't yet support yourself, or you're finding hard or struggle to support yourself, and you don't have extra money to do anything, then you need to solve that problem in your life first before you start dating, because you won't be whole and it won't work. Same thing with him. If he has no money to spend, why is he dating? Not to take a poop on people, but like, if you don't have no money to spend, like, where's this going? He should solve that problem first, because he can't see you anywhere if he can't solve that problem. And a lot of times what people are going to do is they're going to, instead of solving their real problems that need to be solved, they will use other human beings to distract themselves from solving those problems. And I think for both of you, that's what you're doing. Rather than solving this situation, you're both using each other as a distraction. 2 to 5 hours could be spent on a job search. Not to diss you, Nazura, right? But for both of you, this 2 to 5 hours could be spent on a job search, building your career. Instead, you guys are dirty talking with no plan of even meeting each other. So before you do that, get your life right and get your life together. Then go back and you can start dirty talking with your free time. Because I promise you, when you're working really hard and you got a whole bunch of stuff going for you, and all a guy wants to do is sit on the phone for 3 hours video chatting you talking about pineapples, you're going to be like, bruh, I don't have time for this BS. Not that you won't enjoy it or enjoy yourself, but you'll be like, yo, I can't stay up on the phone with you until 4 a.m. That's a good place for you to be. Okay? You want your life to be in a place where you can't stay up on the phone with people till 4 a.m. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start taking your time much more seriously. Meaning, if you're going to spend time with some guy on the phone, you're only going to do that if he actually has intention of building a relationship. See, the reason you're not doing that is because you have nothing but time. Not to diss you, right? But because you have nothing but time, you're finding it easy to just waste your time. If your schedule was tight and you had a lot of things to do and a lot of things to work on for yourself and in your life and your career and your passions, you wouldn't want to spend hours on the phone with a guy that you're not building with or have no plan of seeing. Okay? Which is good. You don't want, because right now it just seems like you're wasting a lot of time. And he's also wasting a lot of time. So you guys came together and decided mutually to waste a lot of time. Not to mention, listen, I'm not here to judge anyone or their position in life. Look, we've all been down bad before. But I just don't think after him coming to you for this, I don't think talking to him right after that was the best thing to do. I don't think yet he's mentally ready. I think probably if it was that serious that he came to you and he was in such a critical state, I think there's some work that he needs to do for himself before he's even ready to be in a relationship, okay? And I don't necessarily think that it's your job to try to fix him or heal him. Like, some people sometimes have to work and heal, sometimes all the time have to work and heal themselves and then be prepared to be in a relationship. Because you're just going to end up carrying all of his baggage for him. Okay? So I don't want that for you. I think the answer to your question is to take a step back. You need to figure out this situation and take care of your needs first. And then, and only then, is when you start exploring other relationships, when you've taken care of what you need to take care of. Don't use people as a distraction from your actual problems. Okay? That's my advice to you. All right, so that's the show for today, guys. I hope you guys got some value from that and learned some things from that. If I didn't answer your question, don't fret. We have lots of time. I will answer questions after every single show. It's part of the show. And if you all want to submit your question to the Discord, please, if you're in the TikTok chat, go to the link in my bio on my main page. And if you're in the YouTube chat, just go down into the link in the description where you will find the relationship advice section linked to the Discord there, and you can ask your question there. Okay. For those of you who are on, just want to follow me everywhere, you want to see what I'm doing all the time, you want to see how I came to this screen in front of you, you can go and head over to my Instagram where you can find me in my entirety since I've been existing and what I've been like and all that good stuff. And you can follow me there. And it's also down there at the bottom right for you guys who are on YouTube. Okay. And for those of you who are on TikTok and you're wondering, oh my God, I love this show so much. Where can I find this again? Where can I be a part of? Like, I just want to join you all the time, every time, 24/7. This show is also available on YouTube in its entirety, and it's being recorded. So if you feel like you missed some parts, you came late, you came early, whatever it may be, and you want to rewatch it and rewatch all the live streams from the past, you can go over to my YouTube page, which is right above my head on the top right. It's just my name. You type it in on YouTube, or you can screenshot this and you can paste it in YouTube, and you'll be able to find my page and find the whole this whole live stream with the TikTok and the YouTube chat embedded in the video, so you can follow all the amazing conversation and all my previous live streams in the past. Okay. All right. So that's the aside from that, that's the show for today. I will see you all beautiful people. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Figure out what time that is in your time zone, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, au revoir, arrivederci, goodbye, hasta la vista. I love you so much, and I will see you again tomorrow right on time, where we'll talk about love, life, and relationships. Until then.